Working in the United States without a permit is like navigating through a minefield. It's risky business. From potential deportation and prohibiting re-entry for 10 to 20 years, stakes are pretty high. Let's not forget that lying about your unauthorized employment can prevent you from ever getting a green card. Fear not, Employment Authorization Document, that we refer to as EAD, unlock the doors to legal employment. Ready to get your EAD? This 5-step guide has all the insider tips and tricks to help you secure your work permit and keep your American dream alive and kicking. Ready, Immigration Nation? Let's get started. Step number 1 to obtaining your EAD is to understand it. In the United States, working legally can be achieved in 3 main ways. You're a US citizen, you have permanent residency, or you've obtained an EAD card because you filed for something that entitled you to get it. The Employment Authorization Document, also referred to as Form I-765, which you have to fill out in order to get it, is a card that contains the following data: your name, photograph, your foreign number, a number, and date of birth. This card can serve as your identification. The benefits of having an EAD include the ability to work legally in the United States, earn income to support yourself or your family financially, gain work experience in the country, and in some cases, access additional benefits like health insurance and disability insurance. The EAD can also provide a sense of stability and autonomy for individuals while they're awaiting other immigration processes. Think of adjustment of status, asylum, or other immigrant visa. Step 2 for obtaining your EAD: understanding the requirements and necessary documentation. Who can apply for EAD? There are various categories, including applications for adjustment of status, that's Form I-45, asylum, Form I-589, special immigrant juvenile, Form I-360, VAWA also uses Form I-360, DACA, Form I-821D, temporary protective status, Form I-821, cancellation of removal, Form EOIR-42A and B. And there are many other family or employment-based applications that will allow you to have employment authorization either after the application is approved or during the pending evaluation of the application. Each category has its own set of requirements and conditions, so it's essential to determine which one applies to you. You can find detailed information on the USCIS website, which I'm going to link in your comments below. You can also look on our website as well as in our YouTube channel, where we've discussed many of these paths to legal status in the United States. To apply for an EAD, you'll need to fill out Form I-765, as I mentioned before, and provide documentation supporting why you're entitled to it. The documentation includes a copy of an identity document like a passport or a birth certificate, evidence of immigration status, meaning whatever you're applying for and the requirements for it, passport side photos, and payment of any application fee. Once you have all the documents for your application, it's time to the next step. Step number 3 for obtaining your EAD: the application process itself. Here are the most common options to apply, but make sure you keep a copy of anything you send. Obviously, you have to prepare the application, you have to present supporting documentation, and then you need to send it to immigration. Well, let's talk about how. Postal mail, that's USPS, the United States Postal Service. You can mail your application following the instructions on Form I-765 and the USCIS website. For some forms, you can also file electronically, but it's still a relatively new feature and it isn't perfect. It also doesn't speed up the processing of your application. For now, I suggest you stick with the mail. Courier service. If you prefer a faster and more secure option, you can use courier service like FedEx or UPS. Check the specific USCIS address for express deliveries on their website. Yes, you can't use the same address because some places you send doesn't have someone to sign. So FedEx or UPS needs a live signature, and if you send it someplace that doesn't have one, your package won't be delivered. So ensure you use the correct address, and that's one that's for those courier services. In-person delivery, you can also submit your application in person at a dedicated DHS office, that's Department of Homeland Security. I don't recommend this approach as there aren't enough convenient places around the country, and it really doesn't speed up your processing of your EAD. Not only that, it takes a significant amount of your time to go and get it done. After you submit your application, USCIS will review it. If they don't have your digital fingerprints, they will schedule a biometric appointment for you. If you want to know all the details about the biometric appointment, we recently made a video for you. Link is in the comments below. Now, let's talk about the last two steps. Step number 4 for obtaining your EAD, processing time and tracking your application. How long it takes to get your EAD depends on a variety of factors, including how many people applied before you, meaning how long is the line, what is USCIS workload, unexpected situations, remember COVID, changes in immigration policies like presidential elections or national emergencies. It can all impact waiting times. While USCIS provides processing time estimates on its website, it's important to note processing times do vary. So stay calm, stay tuned to our channel for our monthly updates that talk about processing times. We release a new video each month detailing the processing times for a variety of forms, including employment authorization. Feel free to reach out if you need assistance. Upon submitting your application, you'll receive a receipt number, allowing you to track its progress online through USCIS PACE tracking system. You could just Google USCIS PACE status. You could also look at USCIS processing times, but then you have to understand what the page looks like. So for more information on that, take a look at the video that we created for you. If you have questions about your application status, or if you have pending for an extended period of time, you can contact USCIS Contact Center for assistance. Ensure you have your receipt number ready, available when you make the call, because they're going to ask you for information. Let's jump to the last step. Step 5 for obtaining EAD, receiving and using the EAD card. After your EAD application is approved by USCIS, they will mail you your work permit. When you receive it, review the board for any errors, like a misspelling in your name or your date of birth. This will be your identity card, so make sure the information is absolutely correct. If it is wrong, contact USCIS or your attorney. If the mistake is on the EAD application that was submitted, you're going to need to pay a new filing fee to get it corrected. If the mistake was made by USCIS, meaning the information on the EAD form I-765 is accurate, but the card is mistaken, USCIS will replace it without charging you for the fee. Keep in mind, your EAD has an expiration date. I usually recommend filing to renew it 180 days before it expires. That does vary. If you file too early, well, it'll be rejected. So unfortunately, it is taking a long time. So 6 months is my recommendation for you at this point. Don't wait until the last minute. Working with an expired EAD card violates US law and could, more importantly, cost you your job. If your employer, since you don't have valid EAD card, could very well terminate you. Planning is key. Work with your attorney to avoid missing any deadline. Now, you're ready to get your EAD. And just before we say goodbye, you know, I always like to give you a little extra. So let's look at important aspects to renew your EAD and keep your employment situation secure. Take note of these 5 points. 1. Renewal time. Submit your renewal application 180 days before your current legal authorization expires. We don't want you to have interruptions in your legal employment. 2. Renewal and documentation form. You will need to complete Form I-765 again. I know, it's annoying. Make sure to use the most recent version on the USCIS website. Don't just use the one you did 2 years ago. It could have changed, in which case, could deny it and you lost a filing fee, or could be rejected and you waste time, and maybe now your EAD is expired. So pay attention to the form instructions, because like I said, they change. Tip number 3, payment of fees. Payment of fees, that's right. You will have to pay again to renew your EAD. So be sure to include your new payment receipt along with the renewal form. You can check for fee changes on USCIS website, just like you can check the form. I recommend a check or debit or credit card when available. This way, you know when the check is cashed or the debit card charged. With a money order, well, you never know. You send it, you have no way of knowing when they received it or if they received it. And if that money is lost, it's lost for good. If you send a check that doesn't get cashed, you haven't lost the money. So check or debit credit card. Number 4, biometrics process. You may need to do your biometrics again. Don't worry, pre-COVID, every single application had biometrics appointments every single time. Now, it's more limited, but it still happened. If just follow the instructions provided, if you aren't sure, ask your attorney. 5, tracking and reception. Track the status of your application through the USCIS online system. I recommend you check weekly. USCIS makes mistakes and they could mail your documents to the wrong address. They could give you instructions that you never actually received. By checking your status weekly, if a problem arises, you can give them a call. You'll know what to do. Again, if you have questions, we're here to help. That's all for the I-765. We wish you success on your journey to achieve the American dream. If you need more information or have any questions completing the form, seek the help of an experienced immigration attorney. Subscribe to our channel, see all the important content that we create just for you. Remember, we're in this together. Until next video, take care. Hey, did you like the video? I invite you to watch another video where I share more tips on how to protect your reputation as an immigrant. Until next time.